How's it going, people? It's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing alright again today. So then guys, it's the day before the game. You know what time it is. It's time for pre-match thoughts ahead of Norwich versus Leeds United tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's on Sky Sports as well. It's on Super Sunday, so I'll be watching that, as I'm sure everyone else will be. So this for me is must win. It's a game that is very winnable based on Norwich's poor start to the season. I mean, I thought we'd had it bad, but they lost 7-0 last time out to Chelsea, which, yeah, it is Chelsea and they are a really good side, the champions of Europe. But Norwich looks so bad defensively that, given the team news that we've got from Bielsa's press conference, it would indicate, that we can go and win this game. But in true Leeds United fashion, I'm sure that it is going to be a very difficult and tense affair. But I am really confident that we do come out of this with the 3 points. But before we get into it in more detail, smash that like button, please subscribe, and let's get into it properly, guys. So then guys, let's dive straight in. So for me, firstly we'll just touch upon the team news ahead of tomorrow afternoon's game, and that is that we know that Firpo, Shackleton, Calvin and Rafinha will all be 100% available and will be playing in this game, which for me gives me a massive confidence booster. Yes, Bamford and Ayling are still out. No date given as to when they'll specifically be back in the team. But for me, I still think we've got enough to beat this Norwich side, especially with the pace and the creativity that we've got with Rafinha going forward. I think hopefully he'll have an absolute field day with their back four. Whatever side he's on, whether he's central, left or right, he'll be able to cause them huge issues, I think. Now, obviously, Norwich, they'll be hurting after a 7-0 loss last week. So, there's part of me that thinks, they'll be that annoyed, they'll be that upset about it, that they may have a point to prove in this game. But then on the flip side to that, you could argue that they are very wounded and that it could just keep getting worse for them. Hopefully it's that it keeps getting worse, especially in our game anyway with them tomorrow. I feel like, they've got okay players here and there. Todd Cantwell, for me, is a really good prospect. I mean, he looks like he's going to turn out to be a cracking player. But by all accounts, he has had a fallout with the head coach, Daniel Farke. And that's why he hasn't been playing a lot, which is a strange one given the ability that he's got. And obviously they signed Gilmore from Chelsea on loan. Hasn't really been playing much recently as well, and you'd think, he did win the Champions League with Chelsea last season. Yeah, wasn't a big part in that side, but he was still part of that squad, even though he's a young lad. He's got experience in Prem. But again, he isn't playing a lot recently. Max Aarons at right back is a player that I like as well. I think going forward he can be a threat, but defensively he looks poor, so that's where we can really get at him. And obviously up front, Teemu Pukki, when they were last in the Premier League, he was their top scorer. He's struggled to get going, just like the whole starting 11 really this season. They've only actually scored 2 goals in their opening 9 games so far, which again adds to my confidence. But the Leeds fan in me, as a lot of people are saying, is absolutely petrified that Pukki is probably going to find his shooting boots in tomorrow's game. But I think whatever back four Leeds put out, I think we'll easily have enough. We should easily have enough anyway. Again, I always say it, but the midfield battle will be key. The fact that Calvin's back in there, again, massive boost for Leeds United in this game, because I think their midfield, Calvin's better than the whole of their midfield, let's be honest. Again, that could come back to bite me on arse, but I have to say it as I see it. Rafinha down the right will cause their left back absolute mayhem, I think. And on the left, it'll either be Harrison or James. James is so quick, he'll easily be able to get at that back four. Obviously, with regards to lineup for Leeds United, my predicted 11, this isn't what I want, but this is what I think Bielsa is going to go with, based on the team news, is Meslier in goal, obviously. Shaq's at right back, centre-back partnership of Llorente and Cooper, and I think Firpo will come back in at left back. Calvin will be back in the CDM role, where he belongs. And then on right midfield, we'll go with Rafinha. Centre midfield partnership, I think he'll go with Dallas and Click. And left mid, I think he's going to go with Dan James in this one. And then up front, Rodrigo. That's what I think he will go with. What I would want to see is Meslier, Shackleton, Llorente, Struijk and Firpo. Cooper against Arsenal the other day, I was there. When he came on, we just lost something at the back. I felt in the first half we were defensively solid with Llorente and Struijk. Hopefully Bielsa noticed that. Cooper had a really good game against Wolves. I gave him the credit where it's due. But for me, he needs to drop out now. And then obviously, as I said, Firpo at left back. Calvin would be in the CDM role. And then the midfield I would have would be Rafa on the right. My centre midfield would be Dallas. And then in the attacking midfield, in the number 10 role, would be Rodrigo. And then Dan James on the left. And I would start Joffrey Geldart up front. He's earned it for me. The recent cameos that he's made has warranted him a start. Now, if there's going to be any team that he could make his full debut against and he could thrive under, would be this Norwich side. We saw what he did to the Wolves back four or back three or whatever last week. Caused them real issues, and I think that'll be just that times 100 with this Norwich back four, especially Grant Hanley. I mean, he could easily have his life. So that would be what I want. As always, with Bielsa, we can never predict the 11 that he's going to go with. As long as Tyler Roberts isn't in it, I will be more than happy. So yeah, those are my pre-match thoughts ahead of Norwich versus Leeds for tomorrow. Let's hope that we get the 3 points. We definitely need it. And then it'll be 10 points from our opening 10 games, which isn't too bad considering the start that we've had. And then at least it gives us a big confidence boost going into Leicester at home next week, which will be another very tough fixture. So hit me up with your thoughts and opinions in the comments section on everything that I've spoken about. What would your lineup be, your score predictions and all that jazz. And as always, smash the like button, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my post-match reaction tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much.